by homeowners shows what that scene looked like maybe an hour or so ago as several law enforcement agents were here on scene. Excuse me. With big guns, heavy police presence, K-9 unit walking onto that property, trying to get Massey out of that house. And, 6 weeks to the date, this has been, all hands-on approach and effort from several law enforcement agencies to get the remaining two escapees back into custody. So now we have one still on the run. But that homeowner says that that she just rushed over here frantic, wondering what happened. And just to give you a little perspective here, the property where he was captured is actually two homes on the property, so we're not clear on which property Massey was in. She do tell me that there is a tenant that lived on the property, but they were not home at the time. She says she's still trying to learn more details from law enforcement agents. And I know you guys have been speaking with several people. We heard from the U.S. Marshals who said this was a joint effort, but I want to let you all listen to what that homeowner told us, speaking from behind her fence.
I'm frustrated too. I don't know what's happening. They say this is going on, and I get here and I don't even see a cop. So, it's a pretty quiet neighborhood. It's kind of shocking, but hey, things like this happen. We just have to, kind of.
And what the homeowner told me, that it's a quiet neighborhood. Several people who live in this area have echoed that exact same thing, that this is a quiet neighborhood. They heard a huge commotion, came out to check and see what was going on, and that's when they saw the heavy police presence. The homeowner also telling us that she's not familiar with, some of the people, and she's trying to, make sense of what happened here, trying to piece it together herself, but she's really looking for answers. She says she's just finding out from us who were here in front of her home. So we will have more from that homeowner and bring you the very latest on Air and Online. Reporting live in Hollygrove, Jonah Gilmore, WTSU News.
All right, Governor Jeff Landry just posting this statement to social media saying it's the final countdown. Thanks to our incredible state police for their continued dedication in taking these criminals off the street.
And Attorney General Liz Murrow also posted on X saying Antoine Massey has finally been recaptured in the Holly Grove area of New Orleans. He'll now face additional charges for his role in the escape, and I'll ensure that he will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. Great work by all of our law enforcement partners, end quote from Attorney General Liz Murrow.
Yo, what up, y'all? It's your boy, Mr. 1751. I'd like to thank you all for tuning in, man, for yet another one. You know what I mean? Y'all know how we do it, man. For those of you who already smashed and subscribe, I like to take my hat off to y'all, man. Y'all, I mean, y'all support is very much appreciated, man. That's what helps this channel to grow, man. For those of you who have yet to smash and subscribe, that's all right. That's all right, man. If you're taking your time, you drag your feet, just make sure you eventually you get to that button, man, and just understand it doesn't take $1 out of your pocket, man, to show love and support. I do this for y'all, man. Although I enjoy doing it, I do these videos to kind of keep my viewers informed on these situations, man. Now, anyway, getting into it, right? Today we're gonna be hitting on a topic, an update that's kind of been, I've been waiting to do an update on this topic about, a lot of you are already familiar if you've been rocking with me, right? I've been reporting on this New Orleans jailbreak where you had 10 inmates who escaped from New Orleans Parish County Jail, right? Now, there was a lot of different moving parts, moving components. The situation was very dynamic, man, from the guards who helped, from the maintenance man who turned the water off, there's a lot of different moving parts, which we touched on in recent videos. But today, we're going to be updating on one of the two inmates who was still on the run after 6 weeks, right? Now, as a lot of you know, not too long ago, we did a video on this, and we reviewed was Lyndon Van Buren Jr. and the other guy, that got caught in Texas. right? They were arrested after a high-speed chase, right? And after them, it was only 2 left. There was 8 recovered, 2 left. And those 2 was Antoine Massey and Derrick Groves. Now, both of these guys have interesting backgrounds, unfortunate occurrences which happened in their lives, you know, things that I wouldn't wish on anybody, you know, but these guys unfortunately happen to just not have the best upbringing and the best you know, situations in their childhood, right? Now, Antoine Massey was arrested originally for a domestic charge, right? I believe it was probably aggravated assault and rape, scrape, right? Gotta watch that word on YouTube, right? But anyway, not sure what type of sexual assault he was charged with, but they are making sure to stretch it and to put that out there that he was locked up for scrape. Because when people hear scrape, they automatically go to, oh yeah, he's a vile individual. They gotta get him, right? Which may not be the case, right? Now, Derrick Groves, this is a young guy who was arrested for multiple murders. One in particular was a Mardi Gras shooting where multiple individuals was shot down with an assault rifle, and they're claiming that Derrick Groves was the guy behind behind that gun, right? Now they tried Derrick Groves many times, about 3 times, until they finally convicted him, and that left a lot of questions and a lot of controversy as to why they keep trying this guy. Like, they are determined to get a conviction. They want him to be the man when they obviously don't have the evidence to pin it on him. But a lot of times when they want you, man, you know, they bend the rules. They do all type of disgusting things, man, to get you behind them walls. You know, wouldn't want to be in a situation like that, that's for sure, right? But this guy, Derrick Groves, we haven't heard a peep from Derrick Groves. He's still out here on the run, more than likely alive and well, being assisted. Someone's helping him, you know, because there's no way you can live on a run without any type of assistance. You know, you got to get food, drink, you know, just basic necessities, right? And for those type of things, you're going to need people to do some running for you. If you can't be seen out there, you know, by yourself, right? But although we haven't heard a peep from Derrick Groves since this escape, we can't say the same about Antoine Massey. Now, Antoine Massey, not too long after this escape, once he heard that he was the one who was suddenly blamed, you know, and propped up as the mastermind of this whole escape, that prompted him to make a video and to try to call out the you know, just all the false narratives that they're putting out there about him, right? He felt the need to do a video, and in this video, the thing that kinda made, you know, New Orleans, made Louisiana, the state of Louisiana, look bad, is that this guy was able to survive on the run for so long as he continued to make, you know, social media posts and seemed as if he was moving around freely. You know, maybe not as freely as maybe you and I, but for an escapee, this guy, you know, he was taking pictures on, you know, he was getting fresh. You know, you see he had his Rolex on, he had his Houston Rockets outfit on. You know, the other video he had his Eskimo boots on, his hair freshly done. Yeah, he obviously and I said this, I've been saying this for a while. Antoine Massey he's not a dumb guy, right? He's a four-time escapee. He's a four-time escapee in the past, right? But this guy, he wasn't your average crash out, right? Antoine Massey, he knew. You know, I've been saying this for a while. What he's probably going to do, he's probably going to stay out until his birthday to celebrate his birthday on a run, and then turn himself in. Because if any of you remember in that tape, he said, you know, when I go back, you know, he said when I go back, you know, which insinuates that he's going to go back, which he already planned. He knew he was going to go back, right? So he wasn't a reckless guy. He wasn't, you know, one of them guys that said, I'm not going back, you know, they're going to have to kill me. He wasn't one of them, right? Now, what was interesting is in that footage that he recorded in the kitchen, he claimed that he was let out. And he also claimed that he don't understand why this maintenance man, he don't understand why this maintenance man, out of all 10 escapees, accused him of being a person that threatened to stab this maintenance man if he did not turn the water off in that cell, right? Now, a lot of you probably remember when this first happened, the maintenance man, you know, obviously when he was arrested, he knew he had to say something. Even if all this was fake, he had to say something. And Antoine Massey, being as though he's the one that the media is focusing on so much, you know, because he has a history of breaking out, and they're salty because no matter what they do, somehow this guy slips through the cracks, right? He's slippery as a fish, right? To say, you know. But he's been embarrassing the state of Louisiana for a long time, and that's important. That's important. Now, they created many narratives around this guy, you know, his character and everything, right? And which led to him making a video and exposing many conditions, you know, that like you said, if the woman that I'm accused of, you know, bringing harm to, if she states, he showed the, you know, her statement, if she state that what y'all claiming I done to her, she's saying that I did not do it. She is telling y'all that I am innocent. Why am I still in jail?
The same thing in Orleans Parish, right? Correct. I'm about to show you how the system is corrupted. Okay, she did this, right? Saying all allegations against me is false, and she even saying it. You know, she let them know the truth that I never did this to her. I never hit her. I was nowhere around her. Nothing. She got mad and thought that I was dealing with another woman. That's why she did what she did to me. You know what I'm saying? Another thing too, once I got into Orleans Parish, I was there for like a month or something like that. Okay, a lot went on as that time progressed. Okay, if you was an innocent person and you know the judges and DA know that this person is saying that all the charges that you're on that you did not do, why was you still in jail?
Why am I still in jail? Right? Now, for many people, some people out here, you know, they look at it like, who cares? You're an inmate, you broke out, you're wrong, right? But then you have other people who understand that there are people in prison and in jail that are innocent. That are innocent, man. You know, they never committed the crime in which they were convicted for, yet they are somehow still suffering the consequences, right? Now, who knows? Maybe Antoine Massey, maybe he was a guilty of the crime, but it is also a possibility that he's not guilty of the crime, because this man wasn't convicted yet. Now, Derrick Groves was convicted, you know, of murder. So Derrick Groves, you know, it made all the sense in the world for him to go for that, you know, to not miss that chance at freedom, you know. Now, you know, Derrick Groves has nothing to lose. He has nothing to lose. Now, I'm hoping that whenever they do encounter this young man, they don't shoot him down, man. They don't shoot him down and create a false narrative that, he was armed and dangerous and aggressive, or whatever. Because you know how they do. They already create a bad narrative about you, and that kind of justifies whatever they want to do to you. So I'm hoping that's not what they're planning on doing to Derrick Rose. But fortunately, they closed in on Antoine Massey, and he gave up willingly. He came out from behind the house with his hands in the air, and they took him into custody. Right? Very easy and steady, no resisting, no none of that. So he's more likely going to get an escape. He's going to get a new charge of escape. Now, for those of you who don't know, there are two different escapes. Now you have simple escape and you have aggravated escape, right? Now, the difference between the two is simple escape is exactly what those guys did. They found a way out. Nobody got hurt. They all fled. Now, obviously law enforcement close in and they bring the guys back into custody. Simple escape. Nobody got hurt. Now, what it seems like they're trying to do to Antoine Massey, they're trying to create a narrative so that they can charge him with more than just simple escape. They want to get this guy aggravated escape. Now, mark my word, you are probably going to see within the next few days, they're going to likely say that Antoine Massey has been brought back into custody and has been charged with aggravated escape, because the narrative that they created with the maintenance man saying that, he threatened his life. He threatened to stab him if he didn't turn the water off in that cell. Right? They are somehow going to try to spin it and make it something that is not. This is a play out of their handbook, man. This is what they do. Got to pay attention, right? Now, Antoine Massey, thank God they brought him into custody, and because his mom, his grandfather, the pastor, everybody, man's been begging him, man. Everybody's been begging him, because as black folks, man, we, a lot of times we can feel it. We can feel it, man. Like his family, I believe his family, they felt that if this went on too long, man, these people are already salty, they're embarrassed, and there are many people in the world that would have loved to see this brother Antoine Massey not be taken into custody, so respectfully. There are many people that would have liked to see him, have his life taken. You understand? And unfortunately, you have people in the world who have callous, who have horrible, devilish ideologies, man, and philosophies, but they won't bust a grape themselves, right? But they love to see other people suffer. They love to see other people pain. They love to see other people get shot and killed in the worst ways. But when it comes to them, they wouldn't bust a pimple. You understand? So, but thank God, man, they didn't kill this brother, man. Now, like I said, in the next few days, let's just see what they come up with. What type of spin they gonna put on it, because it's definitely coming. It is definitely coming. The world now knows Antoine Massey, right? And they hate that. He broke out of jail, embarrassed them, right? And not only did he break out of jail, he became famous on a run. He became famous on a run, right? He is now noticed. He is now known throughout the world for the historic Louisiana jailbreak. That was a historical jailbreak, man. 10 inmates through a hole in the wall, through a cell. Murderers on the first floor of a jailhouse. Where they do that at? Murderers on the first floor of a jailhouse, left unattended. Huh? But he's a murderer. He's such a dangerous man. Derrick Rose is such a dangerous man, but he's on the first floor, left unattended. In a section of this facility where it is only designed to occupy 2 inmates, but there were 10 inmates. There were 10 inmates in this section of the jailhouse, right? On this pod, on this unit. It was 10 people in a 2-man unit. But these people are so dangerous. If they're so dangerous, then why aren't y'all handling these people as if they're dangerous, right? You don't leave a dangerous person left unattended in pods and areas they don't belong in, right? Now, like I said, with Derrick Rose, they really fumbled the ball with Derrick Rose because he was convicted, and before the state got a chance to come and pick him up, take him upstate, he was able, along with the other inmates, which I believe many of them played a part. They all had little girlfriends in there who they was probably manipulating to help the plan to go forward, right? But Derrick Rose, he was already convicted of these murders, and which makes Louisiana look so salty is that this guy within that time period was able to escape. He was able to escape, and the community is looking to them for answers. How did this happen? And they have to come up with something, right? So they state, you heard them say everything from, our jail is underfunded. The county's blaming it on the state for not picking them up. The state, is blaming it back on the county. It's a whole lot of blame throwing. They throwing the blame around each other. You see them do this a lot, right? Now, this is a very interesting topic, man. That's why I make sure I continue to update my viewers, because this is a chance to display, and to expose the corruption within the system. The jailhouse is underfunded. They're underfunded. They took it upon themselves to arrest every member of the staff in this jail, which happened to be all black folk. That's another story. Some people, conspiracies and all that. I don't know what to think or to believe about that. That could be something, maybe not, right? But all the staff, they were all black folk. And all of the inmates, the escapees, they were also black men, right? Now, as time went on after that escape, you notice they started to arrest all of the members of the staff one by one, which a lot of them seems that they have evidence that these people gave these guys a hand and assisted these guys and aiding and abetting before and after the escape, right? But there was a lot, man, and all of this stuff for the last 6 weeks, we have been exposed to the corruptions that's been going on in New Orleans Parish Jail, County Jail, right? From the you had the commissioner. Was that the commissioner? I believe it was the commissioner. Go to the jails and do a walkthrough. All of a sudden now he's doing a walkthrough and knows that they have millions of dollars in damages. The electrical cell doors not working properly. They have a lot of they have a lot of things in that facility that needs fixing, and they claim that the jailhouse was underfunded. So it is okay to have underfunded jails. It is okay to have underfunded jails in Louisiana. If I'm clear, where obviously if a jail is underfunded, then y'all not able to respectfully house inmates, in an orderly fashion, right? You have to have the right funding and for things to run smooth. If you now it's coming out after the escape that this jail was underfunded, and that's the reason why all these things were able to happen. Now, that was needed. Antoine Massey, he doubled down on that. He made sure to double down on that, man. I was let out. Now, just recently, this maintenance worker that was saying that he was threatened by Antoine Massey in particular, it is now said that his attorney claimed that he's recanting that statement.
Mr. Williams is absolutely innocent that he was used as a tool by the escapees and is being used as a fall guy by Sheriff Hudson. There was an overflowing toilet in what he tells me was a handicap stall that should not have been in use. And this toilet apparatus was clogged and spilling out into the floor. He was told by a deputy there was no work order. He asked, and the deputy convinced him that as he was there, could he just look at it? He assessed the situation, determined he would have to shut off the water to fix it, which he did in his role as jail plumber. The inmate, as he was there, happened to say something about shanking him. He didn't take this as a threat. He wasn't acting out of fear. He was taking this as normal jailhouse banter. I don't think they used Sterling specifically. I think it was using the toilet specifically, and he had the misfortune of being the plumber on duty.
Antoine Massey did not threaten to stab him if he didn't turn the water off in that cell. So it's going to be very interesting going forward, man. I hope y'all continue to tune in, man, and break this down with me, because these situations, these are learning. These are learning. These are times that to learn from. It takes certain things to happen for certain things to be revealed. Just imagine how many jails across America is underfunded, understaffed, corruption. Just think, right? But you still have inmates. You still have inmates housed at in these facilities, and they're forced to just abide by whatever laws.
Lawyer, I couldn't even afford a lawyer to prove my innocence while I was in Orleans Parish Jail. They said that I broke out. I didn't break out. I was let out. My name is Antoine Massey. The guy who said that I threatened him with a shank, the maintenance guy, how could I threaten you with a shank? If you can't come around me, you're a maintenance. You cannot come on the tills without a deputy being behind you. Because if they just let you on the till, you could be persuaded to bring drugs or anything like that nature. So how can I threaten you to jail you? And why you didn't notify the people, the police, that if I did threaten you, you never did that. Like, you flat out lied on me. Sterling flat out lied on me. And I want to let the media know that from the straight tattoos in my face and things of that nature, of course they're going to believe Sterling. You know what I'm saying? I never told Sterling nothing. I'm willing to take a lie detector test and everything behind that. But that's another subject. Orleans Parish is one of the corruptedest jails. That in St. Tammany Parish is the corruptedest jails in the state of Louisiana. Why was I even incarcerated with a woman saying that this never happened? This is this woman's name. This is the charge, domestic abuse violation. This is about the shit in St. Tammany. Why was I in Orleans Parish? Why was I even in jail? That's what I'm trying to show y'all. That's why I left the jail. And they have a lot more brothers that's innocent, just like me, that's trying to prove their innocence. That's why they ran. Jason Williams, the sheriff, Susan Hudson, these people are corrupted. These people was talking to St. Tammany and telling St. Tammany they gonna sentence me behind this, and telling St. Tammany if they can't give me, St. Tammany gonna get me. You see what I'm saying? Behind a woman that's a grown adult that never stated that I ever raped her. They have a detective that's over the case that's trying to pursue charges on me because of my prior history. Who I was in the past is not who I am today. So I'm asking for the media. I don't even have a lawyer to help me. I'm asking for help. That's why I ran. You feel me? I'm a grown man. I have kids. I have a mother. I have a baby mother, a child, my children mother. Like it's a lot going on. And that's why I ran. I need help. You feel what I'm saying? Orleans Parish in St. Tammany is one of the corruptest parishes in the world. And I'm asking for help. There's a lot of corruption, it's jiggins, all type of stuff going on, and they covering it up.